And then I think I just gave people a couple of tips on like quick things to go live about to practice going live, like on your PD or something like that.
Yeah. Cool. What's up, mamas? We're chatting. We're getting this party started. We're going to go through some of the bullet points, but I thought it would be cool too. I know like Kelsey's just sharing some of the things that she's been bullet pointing for her coaches, because, you know, not only do we have to get better and more comfortable at the live game, but also helping our coaches feel more comfortable, especially our newbie coaches. We talked about it a little bit on my team call last night. Kelsey's been doing, share your story 7 times in 7 days with her new coaches just to get them comfortable. Like she's like, you don't have to share it. You don't have to post it. But if you shoot a video and you're sharing your story 7 times in 7 days, that's a lot of good practice. That's kind of pushing the envelope. We don't usually expect that of new coaches, but if that's something that you think you can push and like say, come on, like this is going to make you feel more comfortable in sharing, attract more people to your tribe. I thought that was really awesome. That was valuable. So I wanted to bring that up again. And if you guys hear stuff, that, made a lot of sense to you, has helped you, jump in and share that as well. I'm going to kind of go through the bullet points that I gave at Summit, because I really think if we even adopt 2 to 3 of these, we don't have to do them all. There's a lot of bullet points that start coming naturally. You start to just, do it automatically. And I think that's really important. And even if you're just getting started and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to start adding this one practice so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you don't kind of get yourself all in a hussy, then that'll be good. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Oh, all my loves on here too. This is really good. So has anyone gone live today? Not yet?
No, but I do plan on.
Nice.
Change it up. I usually go live on Facebook. I don't do Instagram, but I do better on Instagram. Like I just get better feedback, more interaction. So I was like, maybe I'll change it up and go and do it in Instagram today.
Because you can save that video and then you can post it in Instagram. You have that content to repurpose, which is what I do too. It's like if I do anything on Instagram stories or post anything on Instagram, I always post it on Facebook as well and save it. So awesome. Well,
if you have an iPad or any kind of other device, you can go live on both at the same time if you want. I've done that before.
Yeah. Really? You can? That's like
some next level stuff, Paula.
Well, you're not looking. You're not looking in the eye of your audience on both devices, but you're getting a cool little angle. Maybe you want to.
I'll take so you can go live on Facebook with your computer.
Yeah.
And then I'll take my phone and I'll take like a little book and I'll prop it up and I'll put this with the camera lens right next to the lens of my computer.
Yeah.
And I'll have my computer on Facebook and my phone on IG and then it's messy a little bit, but it works.
Well, it's only messy behind the scenes, right? On yours, on their end, they don't know anything different. They don't see it.
But I feel like the messier I am on video, the more people. Like when I'm all like perfect, and then when I mess up, and I'm like, "Did you guys see that?" It's just the interaction is totally different.
I was actually just telling my coaches that the other day. I remember the summit last year, Anna. You said something like, you were talking about the fearless boss, and you're like, what if they think this? What if they think that? And then you're like, what if they think I'm awesome? And so I was telling them, I was like, actually, every time I mess up, I think, congratulations on being relatable. Like, that was so authentic of you. So every time I'm like, good job. That was so relatable. Your camera fell down. How human of you.
Seriously. Oh, I dropped my phone. It's hilarious. Or your Wi-Fi goes out. That's the worst. You're like, oh no, sorry. Like, pause. Jillian Johnson was talking about that. She was saying, people like a mess. Nobody likes anybody who's perfect. They don't relate to you, like you said, Kelsey. And it's like, if you can be more relatable and more real and more of a mess and just more down to earth, people love that. So that's something to remind our coaches of as well, is like, don't worry about being perfect. If you are, it looks like you're shooting a webinar. Nobody wants to buy from you. They want to relate to you. So it's good to remember. Let's kick into just a couple bullet points to remind you guys. I don't know if I should share my screen on a couple of the slides that we had from Summit or whatnot. What do you guys think would be better? Just kind of verbally go over them or do a little visual? Doesn't matter.
Visual's good.
Visual's good for our those who are watching later. So one of the things that, you know, we talked about were best practices. And this is like, before you even press play, you want to think about preparing for this video. And so if you're planning today to go live, if you think about something, you might want to write a short description first before you hit live that really piques curiosity. Because if somebody is scrolling and they see you going live, if you're not creating this like curiosity at the moment they hear you, they might just keep scrolling by. But if they see a description and it captures their interest, like, ooh, I should listen to this. She's talking to me. So you usually want to direct it to your audience and to who it's for, and to get them to want to stop the scroll. We need scroll stopping advice here, or scroll stopping descriptions. So that's important to do the description. If you don't, it's not the end of the world, right? I didn't do it for the longest time, but I realized that it increases the number of people that stop and watch, and the number of people that stay longer to watch it. So it's just a great practice. The hyperlink is, you know, something you can do if you are redirecting people to somewhere inside of Facebook. We're not really encouraging, like Paula and I had this conversation, is like, we're not really encouraging you to put a hyperlink that sends them out of Facebook because it'll hurt your algorithms. Facebook doesn't want people to leave Facebook. They want them to stay. But if it is kind of intertwined, like it's go to my Facebook group or visit my Facebook page, or you know, something like go to my post and it's inside Facebook and it's an event, then that's something that is probably not going to be, that's not going to hurt you. It can, you know, favor you, especially if your call to action is to get them into your, you know, more exclusive VIP Facebook group, or if it's to get them from your personal page over to your fan page and you want to send them over there. I don't think enough people are doing that. You know, if you're going live on your personal page, tell them, hey, click on the link in the description and be sure to go over to my fan page where I'm posting a lot of content to help you guys with such and such issues. We can do that. And then events, you know, if you're setting up a challenge or you're you know, doing a sneak peek or something, then you can certainly go in and put that link in there. What's up, Paula?
I loved the tip you gave us on Monday night's call where you said you tag yourself on IG in order so they can quickly find your profile. I don't see why that can also be done in Facebook too, where their link could be your tagging your page and then go into the banner. I know that's kind of what you just said, and then go into the banner or wherever you click on the sign up button or wherever it is where they can get that other thing that would take them off of Facebook.
Exactly.
Also,
so go ahead.
Also, if you tag yourself, it'll show up on your timeline as well. So if you're going live on your page and you tag yourself, you essentially go live in both places at the same time.
Oh, so while you're going live?
So like when I go live on Might and Moxie, I can tag my personal page, like as an individual. And if I do that, if it says I'm going live with them, then it shows up on my personal page, like to my people that I'm going live.
Once
as
you
if
post
I were two people. Yeah.
Once you post it, right? But not
no, while I'm live.
I'm learning new things. That's cool.
Yeah. I think I saw Andrea do it, and I was like, what? So, yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
a ninja move workaround sharing, because the sharing works like that too, but you would have to have somebody else who knows that you're going live and share, who has your admin rights and share, which I do that too. Like I'll go live and Erin will go on all my places and share it everywhere. And so it'll pop up like that. But that's a 2-person situation. That's your technique is a 1-person thing. That's awesome.
Tag yourself, people. Now, if you are going live on your personal, can you tag your fan page?
I haven't tested it. I don't know. But I think so. I mean, I think it would work the same way if you're an admin.
Yeah, totally. Let's try it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great input. So good. When you're preparing for your live, it's always good to have a little 3 to 5 bullet point list. Do not write a script because you're not going to read it. You're just going to feel lost. But if you have bullet points before you go live, it's going to really help you stay on track. It's going to help you kind of nail the topics of interest that you wanted to talk about. So they can be super simple, like 1-word bullet points or a key bullet point that you can put on a little sticky note, put it next to your phone so it's close to the eyeball so it doesn't look like you're looking off too far. You put it underneath the eyeball of your camera so that you can make sure that you're like hitting what you want and you feel organized. That's really helped me. And it helps you prepare. You're like, okay, I'm going live. What are a couple things I want to make sure I share, right? And you remind yourself of that with those bullet points. I can't emphasize enough, you guys, choosing a good background. Yes, you can be messy, but there is a difference. Like, Ebony, you better not go live right now with your background because I can't see anything but the glimmer of your teeth, right? So you've got to make sure you're looking at that, and I know that she knows that. But, you know, if it's really dark and or if you're in like a weird place, I always like to tell people, if you're in a weird place, just address it. Because people's attention is like, squirrel, what are they doing over there? And they're not listening to anything you're saying. They're just wondering what you're doing where you are. So if you don't talk about it, their attention is like totally off into something, and they might be commenting on it. Like, where are you? Or what are you doing? Or why are you there? So try to pick a good background. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just has to have good light, which now Ebony has better light. I don't know what you did. Oh, interesting. Okay. If you have a tripod, it is going to make a world of difference. Holding it when you're out and about is fine. It can be a little bit like dizzying a little bit if you're walking or if you're using it. So if you have a selfie stick or if you have a tripod, always better than in your hand if possible. It's just good practice, especially if you want these to look more professional and you want to share them on, if you want to share them on like Instagram or YouTube, those places where you want to repurpose these videos, they'll just look better. Tripods, there are a couple on Amazon. This little one that I got is pretty cool because you can set it on like a desk or you can hold it, and it's super little. It fits right on my desk, and this is called the Favolcano. The Favolcano. I'll type it up. And then there's another tripod I have. I got it on Amazon. Super, it's in the other room, but it's super chintzy, and it does the job. It was like $20. I'll get the name of it for you and post it after I post this recording. But yeah, definitely try to get a tripod. They're not expensive, and they're totally worth it. The camera angle. These are things to think about. Just keeping your camera the horizontal way is going to fill the space of the shot. So if it's this way, you're going to have 2 black borders that align you, and you're not taking up the whole video. So I think it's better to hold the camera this way, horizontal, so that you can fill the space. Not a lot of people care, but I think it looks so much better, especially when you upload it to YouTube. If you want to use these things on your website, if you want to share them, you know, in a sales page, or you want to do any repurposing of your video, they're going to look way better if you're taking up the whole screen and you don't have 2 black borders on each side of you. Know where your audience is in your camera lens. So wherever you take your picture, this is interesting because I keep messing this up, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're going live, you want to look into your camera lens where you would take a picture, right? If you do a video that you record, same thing. Do you guys have the same experience? looking in the camera lens and not off to the side. I've messed this up before where I'm like, oh, now that I'm doing video, I need to look just at my camera, but I was wrong. So looking at your audience, because that's where people connect with you. I've seen so many live videos where people are not looking at me into the camera, and I just don't feel connected with them. It's like, cool, you know, but I'm not connecting with them personally. I'm just gonna mute you guys in case there's background noise. So the next thing is leveling up the energy. And I talked about this at Summit a little bit, but you know, Kelsey and I were just chatting about it before we like started this recording. And it's like, you have to have 5 times more energy than you do just naturally to look like you have somewhat of a high level of energy on camera. You are going to look like you have like 3 times less energy if you don't level it up before you go live or before you shoot a video. The reason that I'm so popular on Pop Sugar is because 1, I have such a natural high level of energy, and 2, I level it up times 10. I have to bring such a higher level of energy. When I'm done, I'm exhausted. When you're done doing a live video, you should be tired. And the best way to recover is all your recovery habits. It's getting up, taking some walks, taking some deep breaths, getting some water, stretching out, doing some meditation. But when I finish a day of video, I'm exhausted, close to dead tired. Like, don't want to talk to anybody, because that's the amount of energy that you got to bring on camera to add like a good energy on camera. It sucks, but it's true. Right? So right now I have good energy because I'm presenting and I'm talking to you guys and I'm engaged and I really like this stuff, but I could probably have even better energy right now if I really wanted to win you over. So on video, think about, okay, I got to do something. I got to bounce. I got to take my deep breaths. I got to stretch out, maybe do 10 push-ups, get your blood pumping. And so that you're natural, like you're kind of uncomfortable with the amount of energy that you're bringing because it's not natural. It has to be unnatural at first for you to get like kind of used to it, okay? Get ready to talk to your avatar. And the reason I put this in there is because we have to get in this mindset of I'm talking to one person versus I'm talking to my entire audience. Oh my God, what if this person's listening? Or what if my mom is gonna hear this? Or what if, so if you're thinking about like every single person that could possibly hear your video and you're getting nervous because there's a lot of people maybe watching or going to watch, or you're afraid of judgment from friends that might not agree with you, or your mom might be like, oh my God, I can't believe she's talking about, you know, this or that, you know, I don't know, whatever. But it's important to think about the woman you are trying to serve. And you want to think about her and only her and really look at her in the lens and connect with her and give her energy and show her you care. Because even though you're just thinking about her, everyone thinks you're thinking about them. Right? That is something really important, and it helps me because when I started going on camera and I started shooting video and there's 3 cameras around me and I'm like, oh my God, so many people are watching this. Oh my God, oh my God. It's like, no, I was like, I'm talking to Trish because Trish needs me right now. She and I are in the gym working out together, and it's she and I and my 2 girls behind me, and we are going to crush this workout. So if you think about her and you don't think about a million people, then you're going to feel way less stressed out and you're going to kind of be more intimate and connected. You know, when people comment on my videos, they're like, I feel like you're with me. I feel like I'm working out with you. Like you're saying exactly what I'm feeling. And that's because I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking that this is hard. I don't want to hold this plank anymore. Oh my God, I'm sweating to death. I am out of breath, whatever. But that's what people feel. That's what she feels. So if you're talking about something and it's heartbreaking or it's hard, you're like, I know it's hard. And pause. Don't feel afraid to give energy and emotion to what you're saying, right? Because in World's Greatest Speaker, it talks about this. When you're on stage and you're saying words, if you're not connecting, your body language and your tone and emotion with those words, you're not believable, right? So when you're on camera, you're on stage. There's not much difference other than the fact that you can't really do much body language. But if I'm super pumped and I'm raising my arms and I'm kicking it out and I'm doing stuff like this, it's going to sound like I'm excited. And what I'm saying is exciting because people don't really remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. So if you made them feel excited, they're going to feel like, oh my God, this must be a great thing. This must be a good idea. She must know how, to help me get that kind of an energy or excitement in my life. So make sure you're talking to her and remember that it is about them. So us as business owners, as coaches, we can go live whenever we want and share about our personal life and whatever. But if you're going live to increase your engagement, your clients, to serve, make sure it's not about you. And that you're not just sharing because it's helping you with your therapy or that you got to get something off your chest. I've seen too many people post and talk about stuff in lives that has nothing to do with anyone else, and it doesn't serve. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Scroll by, right? Nobody wants to watch that. So it's not about you, it's about serving. And remember, Brendan brought this up at our mastermind, and he said, listen, the best way to not feel pressured, stressed, nervous, anxious about going live is to remember that it isn't about you, that you're going live for someone else. Because if you don't go and talk about what you have to talk about, which is important, you're not serving the people that need it. So when you're going live, you're like, it's not about me. It doesn't matter how I look or how I sound or what people think. It's about me serving my best right now. So I'm going to do this, and it's going to help you get over that hump. Cool? The one thing that, I was saying in the first 30 seconds of your video is that you want to introduce yourself and why you're jumping on live right away. Doesn't matter if anyone's on, because you're going to say it multiple times throughout your video. But right when you jump on, because most people, and newbie coaches especially, people that have brand new audiences, they're going to see the recording, right? They might not see you live. So in the first 30 seconds, you want to be like, hey, my name is Anna, and I am here to help women gain a healthy lifestyle so that they can feel more confident and joyful moving forward in their success. I want to come on today live and talk about the different ways you can elevate your happiness today. I'm going to talk about 3 different key ways you can increase your happiness, which will ultimately lead to greater success in your life. If you can introduce who you are, what your mission is, and what you're going to talk about in the first 30 seconds, more people are going to stay. But if somebody clicks on the replay and it's like, hey guys, so just seeing who's on, just seeing if anybody's on. Oh my God, right? Like, it's terrible. But it's okay. A lot of people did that in the beginning because they weren't really comfortable and they didn't really think about the replay, right? They're just thinking about, oh, I'm live and, people are jumping on and I'm waiting. No waiting, right? Don't fix yourself. Fix yourself before you press play. Make sure your hair looks just as fine as you want it to look. And you are then there for that, right? Not to look your best, not to worry about your hair, not to fix yourself up. And the last thing is, in those first 30 seconds, asking an engaging question to get comments and likes right away. So the algorithms for Facebook, if you get someone to like, comment, or do any kind of heart smiley face in the first minute of your video, it's going to send a lot of people there. It's going to send a lot more people there. So it's important to ask the engaging question. Like, if you're, hey, it's Anna. I'm here to talk about, happiness and joy and how that can elevate our success. How many of you guys get really bummed in the wintertime when it's cold and you can't go outside? Show of hands, give me a fist pump. I know you're with me. It sucks, right? And if you guys live in the East Coast, let me know. Where are you guys at? I just want to get a little bit of engagement to see if I can get just a little bit favorability on the algorithms. Even if it's a like. Give me a like, you guys, if you feel me on this. It's going to increase your chances of viewership, and that's something that we want to just think about. You know, engaging question, who you are, my mission. And you're just ready to go. Awesome. So that's the first 30 seconds, maybe minute. I mean, you know, depending on how long it takes you. But the more efficient you get with that and preparing yourself for those first 30 seconds, the better engagement you're going to get on your live. Now, during your live video, I got some quality tips here. And you guys jump in anytime if you have anything extra, like if you do something else before the lives or in the first 30 seconds. We've been talking about some things, and you guys have had some awesome freaking input. So, yeah, Paul.
I don't know if you guys are already doing all this, but especially if you're going to be holding something up that you're going to refer to, like if you're in the kitchen, you want to recommend a product or something like that that has writing on it, you need to make sure you flip your screen. There's a setting if you're on Facebook Live where you can push a button to flip the screen so it's not backwards writing, it's forward writing. The trick of that is then everything on the screen for you is backwards. Like you think that something is over here and you lift this hand, you're like, oh wait, no, it's on that side. But the audience then can actually read anything that's written. So.
Oh, interesting. I haven't used the visual like that, but it's, There's a feature on your phone though. Do you know what it looks like? Because if you flip your screen, isn't it going to turn it to the opposite away from you?
No, it mirrors.
It's not your screen. Yeah, it's a mirror effect within.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So I'll pull it up and I'll show you. So if I'm in Facebook, I'm clicking on the live button.
Mm-hmm.
So right here, there's a little tiny wand.
Yeah.
You click on that.
Yeah.
And then it has a little tiny like tool, a couple little tools like a screwdriver and a wrench. You click on that. And then it gives you these options. And it's the side by side, the very first one. You click on that and it flips the screen so anything that you're using with writing shows correctly to the audience.
Amazing.
So like even if you're holding a coffee cup that has a saying like world's best mom and you chose that coffee cup that while you're talking with the purpose of that being part of your message, then obviously you want people to be able to read that without having the skill of reading backwards.
That was really good. So when you're live, it's that little wand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you click on that and there's this little tool.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's this little screen thing. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Sorry, you were really small, Paula, when you were showing it. I just want to make sure that people in the recording see that. That's really important because if you have visuals, that's actually really good. I mean, people like that stuff, especially if you're showing a book, a recipe, a free gift you're giving away or something like that. Huge. Awesome.
Even just in your background, Anna, where you have all these proactive, motivational, inspirational sayings behind you.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever I see somebody who is live and they have things in the background or in front of them, whatever, backwards, my first thought is amateur. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know how to go live on Facebook. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that tool for sure. That's really good. And on Facebook, there's so many cool little features on your phone to like change your image and like make you look like a cartoon and stuff like that. Have fun with that stuff. That's so cool. I don't do that enough, but anyway.
One of the things that I heard somebody talk about once is being more active, like in the first couple, like 30 seconds of your call. So when it's first starting to show it to people, that's like the most important time, not to be just like a talking head like this. So I actually usually, not always, but I try to start with something like super dynamic. I'm like, hey guys, because like it gets your attention more on the scroll. So like whether it's waving or like coming in and out of the camera, like something like that right when you go live catches more people's attention than if you kind of wait to get more animated later.
Heck yeah. Make it that first 30 seconds. That's your most energy, excitement. I mean, try not to scare people. I've seen people jump on live where I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm a little bit nervous right now.
Yeah.
Don't hurt me. Okay.
Obviously, you don't want to be like doing this the whole
No,
call.
but there's some people like,
you know,
hey, I'm here to talk to you today. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy shit, man. We got problems right now, lady. I'm scrolling. I'm scared.
yeah, it's like a seasoning. So think of it like hot sauce. Like it's not a main dish. You know, just like pepper it in.
Let's sprinkle in there a little bit. There's authentic energy, and then there's like crazy over the top energy. Like, let's be authentic energy, right? Even if it's like, 10xing and you're uncomfortable with that level of energy. Cool. Awesome. So a couple things that I learned from Brendan as well at World's Greatest Speaker is the bounce. So during your video, there's something I wanted to touch on. Obviously I was talking about smiling and laughing and showing your personality, because that's what people really want to see. They want to see who you are and your personality, especially if it's your friends that don't get to see you in person a lot and they know who you are. And then all of a sudden they see you on video and you're like a completely different person. They're like, what the hell is Ebony doing? Like, that isn't even who she is. Like, what the heck? It's like, Lori's like, kind of like, slow and nervous. They're like, Lori's like the most fun, laughable person, like mom throwing it down kind of woman. Like, why does she look so like stationary and not like herself? So think about what, you do when you're hanging out with your girlfriends, when you're hanging out with your friends. That's who people want to see. And it's okay if you're talking about something more serious, business like, something that's going to serve and help other people. You still want to be yourself. When people meet me, oh my God, you're just like you are on camera. That's what I want to hear. You want to hear that about you when your friends say, I saw you go live. Oh my God, that's awesome. And you want to be like, do I seem like myself? Get that feedback. Do I seem like myself? What do you suggest? Get feedback from your closest friends, because they'll give you the truth. Right? And they'll tell you what's up. They'll be like, you're a little like shyer than you are in person or whatever. Okay. So we all know that that's important. Hand gestures and body language, like Kelsey was saying, you don't want to be a talking head. Raise a hand. Gesture forward. Back up. Turn to the side. I don't know. But do some gestures that don't make you just look like a talking, bobbling head, like you're here and there's nothing happening otherwise. Lift your hands, grab your face, move your head. I don't know. Something like that. But definitely try to get a little bit more animated. That's going to entertain your audience a little bit more. And then, yes, please.
On that point real quick. You also want to be a little bit further away from the camera if you want to do that. Because I've noticed sometimes I'm like, oh, I put it on my desk, and then I was gesturing, and you can't see like any of it. But like I'm already going live, so I'm like, whatever, just raise my hands higher. But
you gotta raise it, yeah.
More distance, then people can see more of the animation. Like if you have it squared in on like just your face, it's really hard not to be the talking head.
Exactly. And if you are the talking head, maybe you're kind of like moving your camera further out and in, like if you're holding it or something. Just be aware that the more you can gesture and animate yourself, the more entertaining your video is, the longer people will watch it and listen, because you're trying to get people to stay. You're an entertainer. So unfortunately, this is the way it is. You're becoming your own television show. Seriously, it's your business. This is your show. You want to get good ratings. You want people to watch. You want them to come back. If they see you again going live, you want them to stop the scroll. So your impression really matters, right? And nobody wants to just kind of sit there and watch somebody who's a little bit nervous, doesn't have great energy, isn't really moving. And you might have the most world-class things to say. But unfortunately, nobody really cares if you're not exciting to watch. So, the last thing is, or the last two things during your video that I want to share, making you a freaking big influencer. And Brennan and those guys share this at World's Greatest Speaker, and that is something called the bounce. So when you want to engage with people on video, you want to bounce back to them and you frequently. So when you talk about yourself or you talk about your topic of interest, that's fine, but you always have to go back to them, bouncing it back to them, making them feel like they're in that conversation with you. And so, if you're talking to a friend and you're just talking about yourself for like 10 minutes, they're like, okay, I'm ready to go get lunch. I need to kind of interrupt right now. if you're on video, people can just leave, right? They don't need to stay and watch. So you want to make them feel like they're in the conversation by asking a question or by referencing to them to get their insight. Like, do you guys ever feel this way? Or have you ever gone through this same thing? What do you think about this? It's just making them feel, if I was talking to a girlfriend and I'm sharing my Sexy Confident Woman formula and what I'm doing to help women, it's like, I can talk about that for a freaking hour, right? But she's not interested. She's interested in her as well. Like, I mean, we're all interested in ourselves. Like, our self-interest is just a natural thing. So if I'm talking about confidence and helping women with confidence, I'm going to say, do you ever feel like sometimes you just let yourself kind of start thinking negatively about your ability to do something? Have you ever doubted yourself because you failed before? So I'm asking her what she's gone through. Luckily, this conversation doesn't even get to expand because she can't talk back, right? But hopefully I can get comments because the conversation is still going to come from me, unfortunately, because I'm not on a call with her. But she might comment, yeah, I've been there. I feel that way sometimes. If we can bounce frequently, more engagement, because people might comment, like, love, hate, frown, cry, whatever their expression will be. And we're going to make them feel included. We have to think about this in our live videos. Too many people just talk about themselves and their topic without bouncing to the audience. You want to think about including them in the conversation. And this is a skill, but this is where massive influence comes in. This is where you go to the next level as an influencer and someone who positions yourself as a trusted friend. Brendan does this really, really well. Oh my God. You watch his videos and just analyze him. He does the bounce like so naturally, you don't even know what's happening, but you're just like, yeah, oh my God, I know, yes. You feel like you're talking to Brendan. So you want to be like that and be in the practice of practicing the bounce. Questions? Think about it too in your conversations. Are you doing the bounce in your personal life? With your friends, with your family? Or is it all about you? Make sure they feel, like they're a part of the conversation. I've had to, really kind of work on this in video, especially fitness. You're teaching and you're coaching. It's like, how do I include you right now? But you have to think about it because this is something, if you're teaching or if you're, just like on live or if you're in person, making people feel like they're there. They're with you. And if you guys are in a live video and people are commenting, awesome. Be aware of the comments, but do not let them distract you until you're ready to pause, until you're ready to kind of address those. Because your flow is most important, right? If you're engaging them and they're commenting and you're seeing it, you might say, oh my God, I love the comments, and you keep going, but you don't necessarily get distracted altogether and go off on different tangents based on what everybody's individual thought process is during your live. I find that this is something that I have to absolutely focus on because I'll get comments all over the map. Sometimes it's just like the most bizarre comment and it'll distract me and I'll be like, what? Okay, I gotta get back. So try not to let comments throw you off your flow, but address them when you're ready so that you can pause, address a comment, especially if it helps your conversation. If it's a great comment and you're like, that is such a good point, Michelle. I'm so glad you brought that up. You don't have to read the comment because they're probably reading the comments, but you can go back into that point and help that flow of your conversation keep going based on comments and feedback. Who else feels that way? Michelle, thank you for sharing. Because you know what, guys? I've been there too, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then you can engage more people. Remember, in your video, engagement is the number one goal. Even if nobody's on, right? It's the bounce. It's making people feel like when I'm watching this recording, Anna's listening, wondering what I'm thinking too. She's asking me questions. She cares what I think. She cares how I feel. So those are some really important things for during live. The bounce, asking questions regularly, making sure to direct your audience to the call to action. So you're always, if you have a link in your bio, if you have something that you're trying to get them to take action on, if it's joining a free group, if it's going to check out an event multiple times throughout your live, you want to be talking about that. Hand gestures, smiling, being yourself, and keeping yourself in your flow. Questions or any other suggestions before we go into the close?
I have a couple questions regarding IG.
Yes.
So I'm kind of just getting back into it after having kind of stepped away from it for about a year because I just wasn't getting a lot of, I was not figuring out how to convert there. So anyway, I noticed that the videos when you go live are super short. Like they're limited time, like 60 seconds or something like that. So I didn't know that the first time I went live there, and I ended up having like a, I don't know, 5 or 6 minute little talk. And so I just kept, like, every time it ran out, I would go back live again, and it would like be like 3 separate, I ended up doing 3 videos. They were 3 separate posts. And
how long ago was this? Because I recently did an Instagram live, and are you saying live on Instagram?
Yeah.
I'm not aware that there's a limit.
I think they changed it recently.
Okay, because when we were in Cabo, I shot like a 4-minute video.
So this was like maybe last week.
Oh. Ooh.
I could have been doing something wrong. That's completely possible. So I don't know. Like, I know I've seen people have videos. I know one girl said that she uses Snapchat because Snapchat lets you just record and then it breaks it up automatically, and then she uploads them and then reloads them. Like too much work for me. I don't want to do that. So
you might be thinking of Instagram stories. I'm pretty sure the stories are the ones that are smaller, but if you're on actually like the main Instagram feed, the live is, you're allowed to do something longer.
Okay, so I must have been doing stories not knowing that I was doing stories. Is that possible?
Well,
Yeah, that's possible because it shortens it for the stories. There is an app. You don't have to do. There is an app called Cut Story. That's what I use when I do videos, and it will break up your stories for Instagram, several different platforms, I believe. But it is annoying because then you have to like upload it each time in the order that you're doing it. But I don't like when I have to like press the button. But if you go live, I believe it's not a limit on Instagram.
I wonder if they changed this on Instagram because there's such good traction for video, like when you go live, that they didn't want people going long video.
I mean, it makes sense. I just didn't know because I would rather than have a longer talk and cut it up and all the extra things, I would just try to figure out how to make my friggin' talk fit in 60 seconds. Then if that's what I know I've got to do, but I just didn't know if there was a trick that you guys who are more savvy with it knows how to deal with.
No, I didn't even know this new feature existed. I'm so pissed. I love freaking live stories on Instagram, and I didn't know there was a time limit.
So I was doing my phone on IG and my husband's phone on my Facebook account, together at the same time. And I kept having to like pause to restart the IG. And so all of that was being recorded on my Facebook Live, me like, hold on, my IG. And I was like, so that was
like, okay, IG it's going to serve a different purpose. I mean, unless people want to do the cut stuff, like the IG stories is going to be more of a combination of video, picture, and not so much live video. Maybe Facebook wants to take control of that platform of long video, which we know they do. They want to feature long video. They want to take away from YouTube. They're trying to be the YouTube of today with the ability to get people to, create longer videos. Maybe that's why. Who knows? But yeah. So it's like, it's interesting too, because when these things change, you're like, okay, well, that platform and tool is now going to be used differently for my business because I won't do all that work and I don't really want to spend the time doing that. So it's like short bite-sized, pieces of information throughout the day or, and maybe like, you know, what Pop Sugar does is they'll just do all of their little segments in a row and create a story of like 10 different posts, and that's it. And they'll do it in a half an hour. They don't spend all day like different things and here I am and here's my breakfast and here. They're like, today's story is about making hummus, and they'll do like 10 little clips and then they're done, right? So you can use Instagram stories for, you know, if you think about a topic area for like that would benefit having a little bit of video / image, and you can put a story together, do it in like, you know, quick 5 or 6 clips, and then, you know, and then call it a day. Because that's the way I used to do it on Snapchat too. That's the way Pop Sugar does it on Snapchat as well. So those are just a couple things that I'm using Instagram for. But I don't do stories enough. I need to do more. So
I've been using stories. I don't know if you guys listen to the National Wake Up Call. I think Jen Richardson. I related to her message because she basically said that she basically built her business on Instagram, not really Facebook, because her warm market isn't interested. And I was like, yay, finally, my warm market is not interested in what I'm doing. That's why I'm struggling. And so she said using stories was a way for her to kind of show what, like the products, what she does. Like if she's doing something in her challenge group, she shows it, or she got like, you know, when 80 Day Obsession came in, when she got her band, she would like do a little story about it. And it kind of gave her her life as a coach, as well as some fun things about her. And so I've been doing that, and I get more response messages, because also on Instagram stories, if someone replies to you, it's a direct message, right, to your story. So that allows you to start a conversation in a private setting that they initiated. So I've gotten a lot of responses just like sharing it in my stories from there. So that's where I like to do a lot of like product stuff, or I'm trying this, or I got this, or I'm in my Vimify right now. If you wonder what my challenge group looks like, this is how I check in, and I kind of show them. I even put my video bloopers in there, like blooper 1, 2, 3, and you know, I got engaged. It just gets people started to talk to you, and it goes directly to your messaging, so you're talking directly to them.
So,
and then,
go ahead.
I was just gonna, in case you haven't seen, I haven't played with it a lot, but I saw it on another training where Instagram has highlights now, and if you do a live video, you can create, I don't know if there's a maximum, I think it's like 3 or 4 different sections where you can put different videos that you want to highlight on your profile, like one like mommy life, coach life, whatever, and then when you make the video, you click highlight and it saves it to that section. So then anybody going to your profile, instead of that video disappearing after 24 hours, it stays on your main profile.
Yeah,
to get it better.
And in each story that you want to highlight, you can pick multiple videos and images. Like Kelly and I were playing around with that at Leadership, and we were like, oh, we can add a story highlight, but it's whatever you did live is all saved, you know, in your highlights. So you can pick like 3 or 4 and create your story in your highlights, and you can do that for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different highlight stories on your Instagram. So that's kind of cool.
I think you just have to make sure that you have you have it selected in your settings for you to save your post to your camera roll.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah, you do have to set that up so that everything that you do live or take is saved on your phone.
I saw somebody use the highlights as a way to show kind of their different roles. Like so they created those videos with the intention that they were going to assign them to be a thing where someone could click on. This is my business mentor role. This is my, health consultant role. This is my mommy role, or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of, like a website can kind of get an about them extended version. That's clever.
So good. Oh my God, we could talk about Instagram all day. I mean, it's getting to be pretty crazy how we can utilize these platforms. But just to wrap up, live great live practices, saving your video to repurpose it. Obviously, we were talking about that. If you do go live, save it to your phone or to your computer, upload it to your YouTube page, or save a clip of it and add it to your Instagram page. So you want to multi-purpose this stuff, repurpose this stuff, for a lot of different things. You can always go back in and edit your description, add a few more bullet points on things that you touched on, because that will also give you, make it easy for people to kind of look at what your post is, not have to listen to your whole video, but get a gist of it, still get a lot of value from you. Go in and love, and comment on all or any of your posts. If people commented, comment back, like those posts and stuff like that. And then in the comments, add the hyperlink to the call to action again. So I always like to add the hyperlink that I was trying to get them to take action on. If I had a hyperlink, I put it again in the comments. Like, thanks for being on, you guys. Excited to hear such great feedback. If you want more details, click here, so that they also have that option, because then my comment shows up for them if they commented. So it's another little reminder to take action. And that's kind of what I got for today going live. Now, if you are feeling up for it, it's Valentine's Day. I want you to think about, Ebony was just saying, she's like, I'm going to go live today. And you want to think about potentially going live today. It's a good day to go live. And I think that if you have some kind of topic or feeling or something that aligns with who you are and some value you could give around this time of year. I know like a lot of people are like, ugh, Valentine's Day. Is your tribe the kind that's like, Valentine's Day, it's so overrated, what a Hallmark holiday, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you want to address that and talk about it, share where your view is on that. Engage some people and ask people, hey, if you don't have a significant other this Valentine's Day, just want you to know you're loved. You don't have to be in a relationship, and it's all about what you consider as connection, relationships, love in your life. Love is all around us. And if you look for it, if you're open to receive it, you will. And, if you want to write out a couple 3 to 5 bullet points on what this type of celebration of love means to you, or if you do think it's overrated Hallmark holiday, great. Write 3 to 4 bullet points as to why you shouldn't treat it like a Hallmark holiday, and how you can give and receive love today in other ways that celebrate something so beautiful that doesn't have to be bought or sold, and it's something that you celebrate because of that. I don't know. So give yourself 3 to 5 bullet points and then just practice all of the tips we just talked about. Be animated, be engaged, use the bounce, give yourself a shot. What do you think?
Yeah, good. Anna, there's one thing I wanted to add as something that I did for practice, because remember when I was terrified of video, what I would do is I would go live, before I go live on my page, I would go live in my group, because I'm so comfortable with them. So I would kind of like do a little initial practice in that group. And I would tell them, like, because they knew, and I'm like, give me feedback. And so now it's like tradition. Like, I usually go in there first and I get myself revved up. So that's like my hype when I go in that group, and I get them excited too. And then just hearing them with their feedback or just their response gives me that like confidence. Yeah. And then I'm ready to share it with the world from there. So
that's so good. That's so good. You're helping people overcome, you helped yourself overcome that barrier of like a little bit of fear and anxiousness. So that is such a great tip. Awesome. So if you have a VIP community or a Facebook group where you feel comfortable, go there first. Wish everybody happy Valentine's Day, and see what happens. Cool. Ciao, everybody. Thank you for jumping on. I'll post the recording in the Hard Chargers University group, okay?
Anna, I've heard this 3 times, and I could hear it 100 more times. It's so good.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that feedback.